Hi, this is Sharon, and today what I have for you is a strength and light cardio workout using poles and some dumbbells. So if you have walking poles, go grab them. If you have any sort of dumbbells, grab them as well. I've also got a nice sturdy chair with a bit of a cushion on it, just to make sure that when I'm doing my leg work that I'm keeping my knees below my hip height. Let's get started with a warm-up. All right. I guess there you can see half my head anyways. Nice deep breath in and exhale. Nice deep breath in and exhale. One more. And exhale. Roll those shoulders around and down and back. I'm just going to tilt the screen just a little bit. That's a little better. Roll the shoulders around and down and back. One at a time. Sitting up nice and tall through the spine. Think about shoulders right over those hips. I've got my feet flat on the floor. And shrug. Up and down. Up and down. Just making sure we're getting warmed up, joint by joint. All right, little wrist rolls. Keeping that neck and shoulders nice and relaxed, and the core slightly engaged here. And wrist rolls the other way. All right, we're going to take these into small, low arm circles. And we're going to circle back. Bicep curls. What you can do here, just to make sure that your hands get nice and warmed up as well, when I curl up, I'm making a fist with my hand, not squeezing really, really tight, especially for those of you with arthritis. Just a nice gentle squeeze, and then a really open wide with the hands, just to get the hands a little bit more used to some movement, because we are going to be using them to hold our poles today. All right. All right, let's go with little arm swings. Just to shoulder height. Don't want to irritate anything there. If this is not the range of motion you would normally do, go within the range that works best for you. All right? If you feel you can go a little bit higher, go a little bit higher as well. Just reaching up. Good. And let's just cross in front and open in front. Open again, using the range of motion that feels the best for you. Couple more. Good. All right, let's just start lifting up those heels. I don't know if you can see it. I've got keeping my toes on the ground, lifting the heels. I've got my hands on my knees, keeping everything aligned. Feet right under those knees. And again, sitting up nice and tall. Note as well that when I move my legs, that my knees are just lower than hip height. So that's of note for those of you who have had hip replacements. We always want to keep those knees from not going past that 90-degree mark. Again, just getting the ankles nice and warm. Bring my feet a little bit more back here. I'm going to just lift the front of the foot. Lift the front of the foot. So look way down to the bottom of the screen. You can see my toes lift. And that's just getting my shins ready for my work. So usually we forget this one. We always remember the calves, but we forget the shins. And let's a couple more heel lifts. And toe lifts. You can lift both at the same time if you like. If it feels better or easier just to do one at a time, that's okay too. All right, we'll just a couple more taps. All right, from here, sitting up again a little closer to the edge of my chair, because I want to be able to maintain a nice range of motion for my legs. I'm just going to start sliding those heels forward. I can hang onto my chair if I like, or not. Sometimes a little bit of support's needed just to make sure that we're not feeling that work go into the lower back. Right? If you feel you need that support, by all means, get a cushion behind you, get a squishy ball or something behind you. Right? Let's take the little slide out a little bit wider, a little bit wider, a little bit wider. There we go. Actually, I'm really, really hoping for a nice warm day and a nice path where there's no ice, and I can get my poles out and go for a walk. From here, I'm just going to do circles, little circles. My shoes are going to squeak on my floor, so I apologize for that. If I really wanted to make it a lot smoother, I could use a glider underneath my feet, or I could, I'm going to go the other way now, or I could put a soft cloth, like an old dishcloth or something like that under my feet. All I'm doing here is just working to loosen up the hips. So ideally when we're doing a warm-up, for senior population, we want about 5 to 7 minutes, maybe 10 to 12 minutes if we're actually dealing with a very idle, or not idle, but not as mobile population, because we really want to make sure they're getting all those joints warmed up. I'm now going to take it to standing, and I'm going to grab my poles now. I've got 2 pairs of poles with me, but just so you know, I'm using one pole that's a little bit shorter for some of the seated work, and then one pair of poles that's a little bit longer for some of the standing work. So we're going to continue with our warm-up. Sorry, my head's going to be cut off here. Can't help that. I might be able to go a little bit further back. Sorry about that. So I'm holding my poles about 90 degrees, right about at the waist. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to plant those poles, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears, and I'm just going to tap forward. Tap forward. There we go. So we're just basically working on a weight transfer. And I don't have to reach out very far with my toes. All right, I'm going to just step out now to the side. Now if I feel this is a little bit too much for this supporting leg, I could easily take a small step side to side. Small step side to side if I felt that was better. But I prefer just right now, I'm going to do the tap out for myself. Just weight transfers, that's all we're getting used to here. And again, my poles have a ledge here, they're the urban poling poles. I like them because of these little ledges, which I can get a little bit more support by being able to press my hands into them. Stepping back, 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 back. A couple more. So I like using poles for a bit of a workout just because they do allow for a little bit more stability when your balance might not be as good as it could be. Plus it's a way to get the upper body and the core engaged. All right, from here I'm going to do some heel digs this time. Heel digs. Four, 3, 2, last one here, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift, lower, just getting the calves warmed up some more from standing. So notice I'm not rocking my body a whole lot, I'm just lifting those heels straight up, body stays right over those feet. So there's not a lot of movement with the upper body or the lower body. Toe taps. And then we're gonna wrap it up, go back to some strength. And again, I don't want to see this whole thing that goes like that where the hips go back. Just lift the toes, take a look. Minimal movement in the rest of the body so that that shin really has to work. And we tend to refer to these shins as our anti-tripping muscle, because when you can lift your toes up nice and strongly, you avoid shuffling and hand tripping. All right, I'm going to put my poles aside. I'm going to grab some dumbbells. And we're going to do a little bit of strength for our first set. Okay, so we've got 3 exercises. We're going to start with a bent over row. So I'm going to, again, support myself with an arm on my thighs and leaning forward slightly, but I could also get a little cushion between my rib cage and my thighs, or a small soft ball. I'm just going to turn my chair sideways so you can see this a little bit better. Leaning forward here, my arm is hanging directly underneath that shoulder. My arm is just right here across my thighs, and that's just so that my back is supported. I'm keeping my back nice and flat. I'm going to pull back in a row. Pull back. Move to the edge of my chair so I don't keep banging my chair. So I want a nice smooth movement here. We're going to be doing about 12 repetitions, so we've just done 4 there, so we've got 8 more to go. I'm keeping my shoulders down away from my ears. I'm lifting my elbow just a little bit higher than my back height. You can see the elbow come up there. And when I'm doing this, I want to be able to feel my scapula, my shoulder blade, swing in towards the spine as I squeeze that elbow back. Last 2. Last 1. Awesome. Let's do the other side. Again, I'm just going to, my chair's really noisy today. I think I'll just not turn the chair as much. I'll just turn myself on the cushion. How's that? Supporting my lower back. Arm hangs. Pull back in that row. 12 repetitions. Is a nice starting point for exercise. If you feel you need to do less, that's fine. Again, we always want the work to feel like it's nice and energizing. And if it starts to cause us pain, we definitely want to think about stopping that exercise. I'm just going to do about 3 more because I've been losing track. 2. And last 1. Awesome. Coming back to face you. And I'm going to pick up the other dumbbell I have. And I'm going to do an overhead press. Now, because of issues generally that people might have with high blood pressure or heart conditions, I really like to avoid pushing up and away from the body with both arms, so I go 1 arm at a time, just as a nice option. Pressing up, pressing up. Now, if I find I have shoulder issues and I can't do this exercise with a weight, well, I can definitely do it with no weight, or I can move within the range of motion that my body's allowing me to do. All right, we never want to push through a shoulder injury. I'm keeping this pace nice and even. If you find it's a little bit fast, you can definitely slow things down. I'm just going to do 6 more of these. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last 1. All right, so we wanted to make sure that each arm has about 10 to 12 repetitions. We were able to do that. The next exercise we're going to go into is a lateral fly. Once again, I'm going to come to the edge of my chair. I'm going to be taking my arms out to the side, just to shoulder height, and then back down. Now watch that my shoulders here stay nice and level. In other words, I'm not letting them collapse in towards my ears. If I find this movement a little bit too much, can I definitely go with 1 arm? I sure can. I can do half the repetitions on one side and then half on the other side. I can also do the movement, whatever my range of motion happens to be, without any weights. I'm going to do 6 more. Here's 6. 5. I can also modify the movement. 4. So see the difference here? I'm keeping little bent arms where my wrists are always right in front of my elbows, unless you can see the elbows, they're right here. And that also makes it a little bit easier for me. Last 2. So I can choose this one, the modified version, or go to the longer lever version, whatever works for me, right? We're just going to take a small rest here. We're going to repeat that segment. Hopefully you're still thinking about keeping the body nice and tall with shoulders over hips and the core engaged, and those shoulders relax nicely away from the ears. So 1 arm row, going to go to the first side. So I'm just going to leave the chair where it is because again, it's making so much noise on this floor. I'm going to support my back. Arm hangs with the weight right under the shoulder. Pull back for 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll do the other side. Once again, support that back, arm hangs with the weight below the shoulder, pulling back for 12, 11, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. That elbow's just grazing the rib cage. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I'm just going to draw your attention to my wrist here. So what I tend to see a lot of when I see people rowing is a lot of this kind of a pull in like this with the wrist. And I just want to make sure that whenever you're pulling in towards with a row, again, that we're keeping that wrist nice and neutral and not pulling it in like that as well. So that's just a little tip you can keep in mind for exercising. Let's take that now to our overhead presses. All right, we'll just do 10 per side. And whatever range of motion works for you. That's 3. 4. We'll do 3 more per side. And last one here. Going to move to that lateral fly. I'm going to start here on this one with the modified movement. Again, elbows held at 90 degrees. And I'm just going to lift the elbows out to the side. Again, you can see where my hands are. They're just directly in front of those elbows. And down. Really a beautiful movement. I'm still keeping those shoulders away from the ears. If I find the elbows have to come up and I'm doing this, then I need to lower my weight or perhaps just move to body weight movement. And if I feel I'm really not feeling any issues, I can go to that longer lever movement if I like to better. And I'm just going to repeat those exercises just without any weight so you can see a little bit better. You keep going. We've got a couple more repetitions to go. And I'm going to move to longer lever just to demo. So arms out, shoulder height. Last 2. And last one. How's that feel? Give those arms a little bit of a shake. Those over here. Now I'm going to grab my poles. If you have poles, set them a little bit lower than what you would normally use for your height, just because we're going to just be doing a couple of things here using the poles to give us a little bit of support on our chair. All right? So again, I've got my poles planted, I've got those shoulders down away from the ears. I'm making sure too that I have some little rubber boots or little rubber soles on them so that we're not digging the carbide tips into our flooring in our home. So sitting up nice and tall, I'm going to start to kick. Kick. And again, I'm using the poles, putting a little bit of pressure into the handles so I can keep my back nice and tall. If I don't happen to have poles and I'm still doing this exercise, I might want a little cushion behind my back. If you want to pick up the pace a little bit, that's okay too. Good. Okay, so we're doing really great with the legs. You can continue with the legs here, or you can add a push and pull motion. I'm going to go slow here so you can see what I'm doing. Pressing out, a little bit on the angle. See that just as well. And see if we can add a little bit of speed. 10 repetitions. Here's 7. Nice and tall. 5. Remember, if it's a little bit too much, this is 4. Then choose just arms or just legs. Here's 3. And last one. Again, planting those poles. I'm going to draw circles with my feet. I'm going to move my poles maybe a little bit wider. Circle in. Circle in. Circle in. Might want to change the socks for this one. Circle in. Circle in. A couple of circles in. So again, I'm building a little bit of inner and outer thigh strength here with these circles. Now, I'm going to just warn you, the movement we're going to be doing is going to be in conjunction. Same sort of movement as the legs are doing. So I'm doing a little circle with my pole. At the same time, I'm circling with the legs. I'm not going to say this is easy coordination-wise, But it's fun to try and make it work. So give it a go. It doesn't have to be a big circle. And then we can pick it up once we feel we have the rhythm here. Do I want to try it out? I don't know. Let's give it a try. I think it works better going out. For me, today anyways, makes us work a little bit. Wishing I had my socks on, but a couple more. 2. And last one. All right, now I'm going to position myself so that I'm going to try and get up. I'm not going to do a full sit to stand just yet. I'm going to do a little bit of a butt pop, I call it, where I've got myself leaning forward. My feet pull back slightly so my feet aren't way out front. They pull back slightly underneath my knees. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to keep those shoulders down away from the ears, put some pressure into the handles, and just pop my butt up. Pop up. And pop up. Now, if all I'm popping up is just a little bit, that's okay too. Let's try to do 12 of these. Here's 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. My arms are definitely helping with this. 7. 6. If I want to come up a little bit higher, I can. 5. Maybe all the way. 4. 3. 2. And last one. Take a small break. Hopefully you're having fun with your poles. Now remember, if you prefer not to use the poles and you just want to do arm and leg movement without the poles, that's fine too. All right, so let's get started again. This time we're not going to do arms and legs separately for very long because we'll go right into the double movements. First, remember, I'm going to move myself a little bit further more to the front of my chair, feet nice and firm on them. These ones are just kicks or heel digs, right? Kick. Pushing and pulling with the arms. Getting nice and warm doing this. Here's 10. Nice and tall through that spine. And once again, I've got my hands on those poles with some pressure pressed into the handles. So I feel that support for the upper body. Let's do 4 more. 4. 3. 2. Last one here. This time I'm going to slide in, circle in. I think I was a little better with my poles a little wider. Draw a little circle in on the floor, just a little circle. Add the poles. Pole is going to circle in. Circle in. Is it perfect? No. Does it have to be? No. Sorry. Are we moving? Yeah. We're getting the upper body and the lower body moving, maybe having a little bit of fun, and that's what counts, right? Personally, I have to distress myself a little bit. I don't know if you've ever had to cut your hair for your spouse. Well, I gave it a go today, and I'm like, phew. He's still married to me, so I guess that's a good sign. And let's go out, the other way. Out, 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 out. Little circles. And again, if I just want to do the arm circles, can I do that? Yes, you can. If I just want to do the legs circling out, yes, you can. It's whatever works for you today, right? You can always add the other body part later. Last 3. 3, 2, and last one. All right, plant the poles, angle, and remember, we can stick with a little bit of a butt pop. A little bit of a butt pop, or we can go all the way up to the sit to stands. I'm going to do 12. Here's 12. Shoulders are away from those ears. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6 if I want to be here. 5, that's okay. 4. 3. 2, and 1. Awesome job. Give you a bit of a rest here. I thought we'd use a band for the next next arm set, just to give some variety. I'm going to use a band. If you don't have a band, you can definitely use your dumbbells. We're going to start with some bicep curls, some triceps, and then some, what was the other thing I had? Oh, chest press. All right, well, let's start with the chest press. I'm going to take the band around my back, mid-back. Again, sitting up nice and tall, with shoulders over hips, feet flat on the floor. Comes out, just bringing my hands right into the side of my chest, grabbing the band like that. Right, so it comes out between the thumb and index finger, shoulders nice and down. The tummy's pulled in a little bit here. I'm going to press up like I'm trying to give you something. And again, 12 repetitions is what we're going to be doing. We've got 10 more. And again, I'm straightening my arms as much as I can. I'm not necessarily locking them. Here's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Putting the band underneath my 2 feet, just to give me some an anchor. And I'm going to do these for bicep curls. I'm actually going to hold the bands, grabbing it like I would an ice cream cone. So with this one, grabbing it like that. Shoulders down away from those ears. So it's coming out right by my thumb here. I'm going to just pull right up to my shoulders, keeping that elbow underneath. Oops. That elbow right underneath my shoulder. I'm just pulling up, whatever range of motion. Often I see people trying to swing the elbows out. We want the elbows not pressed into the side, but beside the body. So you can see they're not necessarily pressed into my side here. Oops, using my cushion. Let's do 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3. For some reason I look like I'm crooked on my chair. 2, maybe I am. And 1. Awesome. So next we're going to do some tricep exercise. I like to take my band, fold it in half, just grab it, reach across. And from here I've got 2 bands to choose from. I'm just going to pick one. Grab it pretty high up, put the elbow right on my side. Oops. Press down. Press down. So I'm sort of hammering motion, pressing down. Again, that upper arm is staying very quiet. The upper arm is fairly close to the side. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really targeted. You really feel that in the tricep area. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Hold my band, oops, hold it in half, reach across. From here, I'm going to grab one piece, tuck that elbow down, and hammer down. 12 repetitions. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Again, that upper arm is nice and quiet. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Have a small break here. The arms just a little bit of shake. Hopefully you're still feeling good and still have some energy to go. We're going to repeat this last set, and then we're going to go do just a little bit of standing work and then take it to a stretch. So it should just be about 40 minutes or so for the whole video. When we're ready, we're going to take that band around behind the back, shimmy it up, hands just at chest height, pressing forward for 12. Here's 11. 4s is nice and tight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hooking it under my feet. Moving a little bit closer to the edge of my chair here. Again, always want that shoulders right over those hips. Always want to feel a little core engagement as well. What does that mean? Just pulling the belly button in. Again, grabbing my band like I would an ice cream cone. Pulling hands up to the shoulders for 12. So it's so nice with the bands. You can pretty much do just about any strength exercise. This is 8 with your bands that you can with a dumbbell. And if you have a variety of bands, which they sell for about, I don't know, $6 for about a 5-foot length, you can take them anywhere and have different intensities. Last 2. All right, triceps. Fold that in half. Reach across, hand on shoulder. And why do I do that? To anchor it, because otherwise I'm holding it out here and my arm's not very stable. But when I have my hand across, it's like I'm saying Pledge of Allegiance. If I can't reach there, for some of you can say, no, I can only reach this far. That's okay too. That's okay too. Here we go. I think we've got 10 more to do. 10. Again, nice neutral wrist. 9. 8. Always nice and tall. 7. 4. And you notice as well, when I'm pressing down, I don't let the band snap back up. I always resist it coming back up. It's the same slow movement as when I'm pressing down. And that actually gives me work both ways. I'm actually working, resisting it, when I'm slowing it down on the return to the start position. Hand, the shoulder, elbow tucked. So this is my concentric, eccentric motion. And yeah, there is some force. The force is pulling me up to the starting position, and I'm just slowing it down. So it's a double whammy for us. It's excellent. Last 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Awesome. So that's our 2 upper body sequences for today. The rest we're going to be just using the poles. And again, I've got my poles set so they're a height at just right here. So where you're standing, you're holding the poles. It's about the height you want them at for our exercise. So I'm just going to give you a second to grab your poles and set them to that height. You could, likewise, you can stop the video. I'm just going to move my chair out of the way a bit. Okay, so my head looks like it's going to be cut off for some of this. That's okay. I might even just move this out of the way. I guess I'm okay here. You don't need to see my head. All right, so here's what we're going to do. So before we were doing that weight transfer, what we're going to do now is just take it into a little bit of a lunge. So remember, if you were quite comfortable with this tap back, I want you to stay with the tap back. If that's where you feel that you can go without any pain to your knees. If you can though, try lunging back a little bit more. You've got your weight, hands into the poles, giving you some support. All right, we're just going to try a few of these. And if you're really feeling that this is not for you, it's not stable enough, I do want you hanging onto a chair and doing these little mini curtsies for me, just like that, all right? Otherwise, we're lunging back for 8. You don't have to go very deep. 7. Here's 6. That doesn't have to be very much, just a little bit. 5. Small movements if your knees are bugging you, right? Or just stick with back tap back, I mean. All right? These ones are what you're going to default to if the knees bug you. And we'll just finish up with 2 more of those. Each side. Good. And there we go. All right, so we're also going to try, I don't want to go to squats right away because I just want to be aware of what's happening with knees, hips, and ankles. So let's try standing on one leg with one leg out to the side, working those hip abductors. Now watch, do you see my toes are pretty much facing you the whole time? I don't want to see the toe go out like that. I want so that knee, I don't know if you can see, maybe if you could see the knee, but the knee is facing you, the knee is not facing this way. So I want it always out to the side, and that way I know I'm working the hip abductor. Now for some of you, it might just have to be a step, because that's safer for you, and you might need to hang on to a chair for that. All right, so here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Oops, gonna hit that. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Restore my dignity here. Put my pants down. All right, so the other side. Remember, again, knees facing forward. All right. So again, remember some of you are doing a little step or a slide out if that feels better. Right? I don't want anybody to feel unsafe with a standing segment. Here's 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Try to give that a little shake. You're probably feeling that in the sides of the hips quite a bit. That's good. All right, just keep the legs moving just a little bit. We're going to now move into a couple of squats. So again, I'm not looking for a lot of movement. I've got my poles sort of planted away from me. I'm just going to lower my hips back. So note again, my knees are staying behind my toes here, and my back is nice and flat. Does it have to be just, it can be just a little one? But if I want to go deeper, for sure, I can squat a little bit deeper if I feel safe, right? If I feel safe and my knees aren't bugging me, can I go a little wider if that's a better squat for me? Yes, I can. What's really important though, and I'm putting these down again, sorry to have to show you my knees again, you just want to make sure the knees aren't going in or out. The knees are actually following the feet. So if you're going to turn the feet out, your knees are going to go out, right? But trying to keep them so that they're mostly forward, right? And that we're not letting them come together or the feet cave in like that. So again, think smaller range of motion first over bigger range of motion. Let's do 10 more. 10, stand tall. 9, squeezing through the glutes and the core. 8, 7, 6. And if you feel that you wanted to go back, keep going. 5, if you wanted to go back to the sit to stands from the chair, you could do those as well. Last 3. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to repeat that last set of the legs going out to the side. 12, 11, 10. And remember your options here, the slide out, right? Or slide. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other side. You should be feeling this in the outer hip here. And again, if your range of motion is a little smaller, that's okay. If you need a chair for support, that's okay. Whatever it takes to keep you safe. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job, everybody. I'm going to bring back my chair. We're going to start our stretch. How'd that feel? Hopefully that felt good. Felt like you got a lot of body parts work. We did some leg work, we did some upper body work, and all the time that we're doing that work, hanging onto the poles and leaning into them a little bit, is using our cores, helping us use a little bit more of our upper body as well. All right, let's start with a nice deep breath in. Nice slow exhale. Nice slow exhale is what helps us relax. 2 more. And nice and slow. And last one. All right. Roll those shoulders around and down and back a couple of times. All right. Let's reach those fingertips towards the floor and tilt our ear to our shoulders, stretching through the side of the neck. You can tuck your chin a little bit if you like. Release. We're going to roll back a few more times. 3, 2, and 1. Reach those fingers down. Tilt the other way. So this kind of stretching you can do each and every day. Make sure you're nice and warm before starting. Tuck your chin a little bit. And release. Bring those hands together here in front. Open wide like you're getting ready for the biggest hug ever. Thumbs tilting back, stretching through the chest and the biceps. Again, maintaining that nice tall spine with the shoulders over the hips and the feet flat there on the floor. And relax. Today I'm going to stretch the back of the shoulders a little bit differently. I'm just going to bring my hands together. I could interlace them if I like. I'm just going to pull from side to side. Those of you who've worked out in the deep water, we usually call this batter up when we're doing a cross-country ski or something, but it's a nice active way to start targeting the back of the shoulder and the mid-back as we pull that scapula away from the spine. Feels good. And on this one here, I'm going to just hold it here. Try and keep my shoulders nice and level. And then we're going to go to the other side. I'm going to look at a little bit of a tricep exercise. For those of you who have shoulder issues, this is the way you're going to go. And if you don't have a shoulder issue, you're going up and over with the arms by the ears and the fingertips walking down the spine. So again, if this feels uncomfortable, only go to this exercise here. All right, don't do both, you pick one. I'm going to stay with this one because that feels good for me today. And release, and so I can either go modified here or up and over if I feel my shoulders are really not giving me any grief today. And you notice I say today because I do know that many of us feel pain on some days or feel movement inhibited on some days, but not all days, right? So we always want to gauge how we're feeling on any particular day. Let that go. We'll start with a little bit of lower body. Taking that one leg out nice and long, has to be nice and straight. Right? I can pull the toe in towards me, and if that's not enough of a stretch for the back of my thigh and my calf, I'm going to lean with a nice flat back towards this leg and hold it here, stretching through the hamstring and the calf. That felt pretty good. I'm going to try the other side. Again, nice straight leg, pull the toe up towards me. Feel I need a little bit more today, I'm going to lean into it. But some of you might just say, hey, no, that's nothing. Yeah, we don't want to be feeling pain with these stretches. Generally, we hold them for about 20 seconds. And we shouldn't be shaking either. We should just, like, if we find we're shaking or we feel pain, back off the stretch a little bit and just see if you can get it to relax. Gently. All right, I'm going to go sideways on my chair, get rid of my little walk. Now I'm hanging onto this side of the back of my chair here, sitting pretty close to the edge. I'm going to take this outside leg down underneath my hip. And you notice my heel here is lifted, right? From here, I'm going to tuck the tailbone a little bit, or squeeze through that glute, raise this outside arm up. Still hanging onto my chair for safety. But again, if I was doing this from standing, this would be just my lunge position here, with a little tuck, reaching up and over. So very similar stretch. Just we've got a little bit more support with the chair. And again, you're going to be feeling that all through the front of the thigh and the front of that pelvis. I think we're ready for the other side. Skedaddle over. Again, hang on to the chair for safety. Outside leg goes down, knee underneath the hip. Again, for a lot of you, this is it. This is as much as you're going to get. Tuck the tailbone and reach that arm up and over. Now I want you to hold the stretch. I'm just going to show one more way you can stretch that. Say you're having a lot of trouble getting into that position. You can also take your one leg underneath the chair. It doesn't give you quite as much of a stretch, but it will start to get a little bit of lengthening going in that front of the thigh. So again, make sure that you're always working with the range of motion you have and that you're not putting yourself in harm's way for any sort of a fall or anything like that. So I hope that was a great workout for you. I hope you had fun. And if you would like to leave any messages on the page that you see this exercise video, please do so and let me know what you'd like to see more of next time. Have a great week.